So guys, with the Rise of Skywalker coming out soon towards, well not soon, but towards the end of the year, and the trailer having been released fairly recently, we thought we'd reflect back on how we think the current state of Star Wars is going on in terms of the movies.
Yeah.
Needless to say, they're not great.
No, unfortunately not, no.
What would you say, Joel?
So, unfortunately, I think this is the first time that leading up to a Star Wars movie I have been not hyped. And for me, this basically perfectly summarizes this whole franchise. The trailer for me didn't really get me excited in any way at all. Sean, how did you feel the trailer excited you?
Well, okay, so for me, when it comes down to Star Wars, I'm always trying to be hopeful.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, the entire Star Wars franchise is about hope.
Yes.
However, for me, you know, we saw The Force Awakens, we came out The Force Awakens thinking it was great, gave it a couple months, started reflecting, realised that it was essentially just Episode 4 rehashed.
Yes. Oof.
Went and saw Rogue One, initially thought it was okay, he was less of a fan.
Yeah,
I warmed up to Rogue One after a while, but I'm not going to turn around and say that it's breaking new ground. At least it was a brand new story that we hadn't seen. Then we got to Episode 8.
The controversial one.
Yeah, I mean, again, when we first saw it, we thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
After more reflection, I'm not so sure. I kind of think I'm in the sort of same camp as Mark Hamill here, where he had a different vision for where Star Wars was going to go, and it doesn't feel like it's going there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was quite interesting because when Episode 8 came out, me and Sean actually had more positive opinion about it.
But then going back and reflecting, it was kind of just sort of like...
Yeah. I mean, I still think it's better than The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there is a lot that was questioned about the movie. I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets. It gets a lot of hate. I don't think it's that bad, but still, it's not...
Something isn't there.
It's not right.
And then we got to Solo, and I really didn't like Solo at all.
Controversial opinion, I enjoyed it, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to call it a good Star Wars movie.
For me, I would just turn around and say, did anyone really want a Solo Star Wars film?
Yeah, that was not a thing anybody ever asked
I mean, maybe as a TV show, maybe it'd be better, but I didn't need to see Han Solo's origin story.
No.
Least of all, I didn't need to know that his name wasn't even fucking Solo and it came from a bloody stormtrooper,
And
essentially.
We didn't need to characterize Millennium Falcon by making her some sort of anti-hero.
Yeah, the droid in this film was a bit strange.
And
I get that they're going for the whole the Millennium Falcon speaks in a weird dialect kind of thing, but that's a bit of a...
It kind of ruins the Millennium Falcon, doesn't it, Sean?
It does kind of cheapen it. I'd kind of prefer if it wasn't part of the whole greater planned Star Wars universe, but hey ho, it is.
And I think that's a problem with the new movies. They don't add much, and in many ways they detract from what we already know.
And the problem is, yeah, half the things that they put in the film, we still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest issues. Like the plot, I'm not really
What's
sure.
the plan for the First Order? Do they want to destroy the galaxy, take over it, rule it? What's their plan?
It just doesn't make any sense. It just feels like we've been chucked into this.
Who the fuck was Snoke?
Yeah, exactly. And now he's dead.
What the? We've got the Emperor tease in this, but obviously, you know, either he's going to come back fully, which people will just call cheap, or he'll come back as a ghost or a Sith ghost. But at the same time, what will that do?
Exactly.
We've lost Snoke.
Yep.
He's not going to have the answers, I presume, anyway.
It will be kind of very cheap as well if he just comes in at the end and it's like, oh, he was the big bad all along.
Yeah.
Gonna feel.
And then the problem for me is, if you're going to bring him in at the end, is it not just going to be a complete repeat of Return of the Jedi?
Exactly.
And it's just going to be the Emperor in a destroyed Death Star, and essentially the same problem.
So, unfortunately, the state of Star Wars in 2019, at least for the movies, it's not very positive, it's not very bright. I think, are you more hopeful for Rise of Skywalker, or...?
I'm always hopeful for a Star Wars film.
That's good.
It's just...
You're stronger than most of us.
Well, I've lived through the prequels. But the problem is, it's just... I'm not sure if this hope is going to be warranted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm someone that can sit back, I can enjoy Episode 1 and I can enjoy Episode 3. Episode 3 is actually my favourite Star Wars film.
And
controversial, I know.
We have it here.
No.
I actually like it as well. Not that much,
It's
but
definitely the best of the prequels. I don't think anyone can deny that one.
Yeah.
But for me, it's my favourite, just for the sake of it, just personal reasons, I just really like it.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, it's just a worry that the Star Wars films, which arguably have some of the stupidest, highest budgets and everything, and being chucked towards this, and it's not hitting where it should. For me as well, the fact that they've, you know, thrown all the previous canon out of the way and turned into Legends, you have amazing stories there. You could just, if you wanted to, absolutely had to make these standalone Star Wars films. Just start taking stories from Legends. Just make them into new canon versions of the same story. They're all there, they're all ready to go.
Disney's just not being what well, not many people were hopeful, but we kind of had hope for a while when we had J.J. Abrams and we saw the look of it, but in the end it turned out to be what people were fearing, and it's just a cheap cash out of Star Wars. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the last film in the this like Skywalker saga now, and it's just, and as they've said, they don't plan on making any more Skywalker films after this, or at least, you know, part of the episode arc or anything like that.
Yeah.
Has this really added anything to the Star Wars lore? Really?
Nope, nothing.
We still don't know what's going on with the Knights of Ren. We saw them in a flashback. They might be in Rise of Skywalker, judging on the trailer, but
Just nothing.
we still don't know anything about them.
Yep. So, unfortunately, Rise of Skywalker, I'll see it. Obviously, me and
Yeah,
Sean
I
will
mean,
see
we're
it.
Star Wars fans. We're gonna.
We have to see it, but overall, it's a very bleak thing right now. Hopefully, the new video game is going to change
I was
that.
gonna say, at least the Star Wars video games have been good. Oh wait!
Yeah.
Yeah, EA having the Star Wars license to making these video games, exactly how I feel about Star Wars. It's just a cash grab at the moment. Star Wars Battlefront 1, I bought it, enjoyed it a little.
It was
but
okay.
they're right, there wasn't enough content, and I wasn't willing to pay an additional content when there's only about 4 maps in the game.
And it's funny because, Sean, all they had to do really was just remake this.
HD this thing!
That's
Star
it.
Wars Battlefront 2!
That's
the
it.
good one!
That's all you had to do.
And even then, the loot boxes they poured into... I mean, realistically, they kind of shot the game in the foot before it even got out the gates with
Yes.
the loot boxes and systems that they put in place. And yeah, you know, they've tried to fix it, make it cosmetic and whatever, but as far as I'm concerned, the modern Battlefront series is just dead. I don't think they should continue with it. Star Wars Episode 3 on PS2.
That was a classic.
Was a fantastic game.
That had fantastic multiplayer, single player.
When do you ever see a movie game be that good?
Yeah, one of the few good movie licensed games.
It was fantastic. They even had what I thought was fantastic bonus mission where it was Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi.
Oh yes.
And if you put in a certain code, Ben Kenobi would raise up his lightsaber to the top, erase all of his health, and if you timed it just perfectly, Vader could then slice him. And the cloak, he would disappear and it would fall just like in the film. And it's those kind of things, that kind of attention that, as Star Wars fans, we go, yes, give us more of that. And Disney have just sort of fallen flat, and EA have fallen flat as well.
That's the kind
It's a
of
troubling time.
love that we're missing in all of the new Star Wars material. Disney doesn't have that love for Star Wars. EA doesn't have that love for Star Wars. It's just a giant cash cow at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Star Wars has just been completely murdered, raped, tortured.
I mean, that's going a bit far. But I mean,
maybe that's a bit much.
the problem is, it's just there are lots of fans who have been passionate about Star Wars
For a
it's
long
a brand
time.
that's been around for a while now.
Yes.
And you kind of hope that it was going to get the respect it deserves, with J.J. Abrams saying he was going to make things more practical, he was going to bring things back to the heart of Star Wars, and
It's not done that. The new movies haven't given us anything. The new characters are boring.
yeah.
They're unmemorable.
Ray is a Mary Sue.
Ugh, yes.
It just is.
Yes.
There's no getting around it.
There's
she
no
has
way to
no
put it.
qualities about her that feels like she's earned the abilities that she's just magically gotten out of nowhere.
The new movies haven't even given us new vehicles. They haven't given us...
it's kind of been a bit... I mean, we've gotten a couple different versions of Star Destroyers, and, you know, a couple different versions of
it's
this.
the same things over and over again. It's just old designs repackaged, old storylines repackaged.
Exactly.
Everything.
I don't know what Disney are going to do. Obviously, Rise of the Skywalker is coming out whether we like it or not.
Yep.
We're going to just have to hope for the best, hope it answers some questions, because if they end the entire saga on everyone going, yeah, but what about... then we're not going to get anywhere, really.
They've got a lot of work to do, that's all I can say.
Maybe they can tie it up, but I'm doubtful if they've got to tie up 2 movies worth of plot holes and plot problems in one film.
It's not going to happen.
It's going to bog it down, if anything. So, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, being realistic, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately this video is going to end on a really sour note.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what you guys think, what your take is on Star Wars, its direction. If anyone's actually excited or hyped for this movie, I'll be surprised, but, you know, let us know why.
You guys let us know in the comments what you think of the Star Wars film franchise at the moment.
For right now, the future is bleak, so yeah, guys, unfortunately...
Looks like the Star Wars films have gone to the dark side.
Yep. We'll get back to you, obviously, when we get more on Rise of the Skywalker, and we'll give more updates on what we're thinking, our thoughts, and a review when it finally comes out.
Yep. You know what we think.
So until then, yeah, just gonna be sad.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Because it ain't Star Wars anymore.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.